Hi, I'm James Doughton, and this is the video that I have done for this week based on my research for unethical choices in a certain company. So imagine being forced by your boss to sell more so hard that people start inventing customers. That's what happened to Wells Fargo a bit over a decade ago at one of the largest banks. And today I'm going to summarize the Wells Fargo fake account scandal and explain how competition and incentive motivated the misconduct and show what the bank could have done to prevent it. And so basically from about 2011 until 2016, thousands of Wells Fargo retail bank employees opened millions of deposit and credit card accounts without customers' knowledge as well as consent. The unauthorized accounts were opened to meet aggressive sales targets. When the practice surfaced, regulators fined the bank and ordered remediation. Regulators later reported that millions of accounts were affected and that large enforcement actions and fines were as a result of this. And in 2016, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and other regulators announced civil money penalties totaling at around $185 million and described widespread legal practices tied to sales incentives. Over 5,000 employees were fined in the immediate fallout, while later investigations and settlements, including criminal and civil resolutions, expanded the penalties and the accountability. And you might ask, so how did competition create unethical choices or lead to them? To answer that question, Wells Fargo had a culture that greatly valued cross-selling, which is essentially selling multiple products to every customer, and set super lofty individual sales quotas and incentive play tied to those metrics. That created intense pressure on frontline staff, like their bonuses, performance reviews, and sometimes job security were linked to meeting monthly sales numbers. When organizational rewards focus narrowly on short-term sales metrics, employees can rationalize unethical shortcuts. In this case, opening accounts without permission just to hit targets. Regulators explicitly tied the conduct to incentive programs. The consequences were multi-layered. Financially, the bank paid fines, customer remediation, and later larger settlements with federal prosecutors, including multi-billion-dollar resolutions. Reportedly, trust in the bank plummeted, leadership changed, and the Federal Reserve even put an unprecedented asset growth cap on Wells Fargo for a time. Internally, the scandal exposed weak risk controls, poor escalation of employee concerns, and a board oversight gap. Those after effects show how short-term competitive policies can create long-term institutional damage. And the prevention, it's very simple in theory, but it's much more difficult to execute. Here are the steps at Wells Fargo or any institution which has aggressive sales goals. Here's what they should have done versus what they actually did. Reform incentive structures. Shift from highly granular individual sales quotas toward balanced scorecards, including customer outcomes and compliance metrics. Reward long-term customer retention and satisfaction, not just product controls. And also embed risk and compliance and make compliance performance part of every layer of compensation and promotion decisions, not even an afterthought. And also enhance internal controls and monitoring, detect and analyze account openings with real-time analytics, and require dual verification of new accounts when funds are being transferred between customer accounts, and also safeguard and empower whistleblowers, make safe, highly publicized channels for frontline employees to report unreasonable targets or unethical instructions with a no retaliation guarantee. Leadership tone and board oversight. Boards need to review incentive design and listen directly to unfiltered employee views. Senior executives should demonstrate ethical decision-making as well and communicate publicly about the primacy of customers as well as controls. And simplify and humanize targets, replace impossible quotas with team-oriented goals and not monetary regulations that reduce toxic competition. So yeah, those are my recommendations on how they could have went about it differently, and I hope you enjoyed my video.